show. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell. In today's episode, I'll be talking about men lose power to women. Friendzoned hard. So I do these YouTube live, usually on every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. But today is a little bit different because I won't be able to do a live this coming Saturday. So if you're watching this right now in the live, this will replace my Saturday. So anyways, I want to talk about how men loses power, how men lose their power to women and gets friend zoned hard. Okay, they get friend zoned hard and they don't know how to get out of it. But I would like to start with a recap episode, which is why I chose this topic today, which is the recap episode is on woman can't love a man she does not respect. Woman cannot love a man she does not respect. The recap slide is on respect is to be earned, not demanded. So I'd like to start out with a quote that I saw, which was by Michael Hopif. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. So it comes in this little cycle. Right? Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times, etc., etc. Okay? What up, Tracy? Good to see you on. Thank you for always being here. Appreciate you. So anyways, if you're already looking for shortcuts in life, you're already pivoting in the wrong direction, in the wrong place, right? There's no shortcuts to life. There are smarter ways, but not shortcuts. So if you're able to do things in less time by using a better method, you are considered being efficient. It is my pleasure, of course. Thank you. If you employ a better plan or delegate work to others, you are considered more effective. Now, on the other hand, if you're eliminating steps in the process, you're taking shortcuts. So if it's 1 to 5 and you be like 1, 2, 4, 5, like that's a shortcut. Don't even think about doing that in life, okay? So you don't want to take shortcuts. Now, many men take shortcuts. They think if they, say for example, I don't really want to work on myself physically, mentally, or anything. I'm just gonna buy some clothes. Just gonna buy some nice, some Gucci, Louis Vuittons, right? And hope that people will look at me differently. Like that's a different, right? Many men, they think about taking those shortcuts. What's up, Clash? So they think wearing a certain attire, act a certain way up front without really working on themselves, be someone they're not. Well, guess what? You haven't really worked on yourself to become someone you want to be, so obviously you're not gonna get anything. What's your favorite season? Okay, hey Mitchell, what's up? Topic, and his shirt is sick. Thank you. It was a gift. That was my my girlfriend's best friend got me this. So Chris Breezy. So thank you. What's card? My first card. I appreciate everyone's comments, but let's try to stick to the topic today. All right, let's try to stick to the topic. And if you have any questions about relationships right now is the time for you to ask. I'm pulling up. Yeah, wait. Okay. All right. So moving on. So a lot of people take shortcuts. You haven't really worked on yourself, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of difficult to be out there going out. Like most people think about going out and trying to get into a relationship, but they're not even ready to be in a relationship. Why? Because number one, they're coming from a place of desperation rather than a place of inspiration. If I'm ever going into a relationship, I will only consider being in a relationship because when I'm ready, not because I miss somebody. That's not good. I appreciate everybody over here. So if you guys could hit the like or even the subscribe button if you like what you're hearing today, I appreciate it. Okay. So now, I've seen a lot of men collapse, right? They cave in and forgive a woman after her infidelity. So an example would be she's cheating on him. And he's like, you know what? It's okay. Just don't do it again, right? And nothing And nothing depletes a man's masculinity more than accepting back a cheater in his life. Because the number one most important thing to any man is loyalty. I see you, Crystal. Thank you. I appreciate you. Is it Lucky? Lucky, appreciate you. So now, if you watch carefully, a man that loses his masculinity starts to hate himself. Okay, he starts to behave in ways like an animal satisfying their vices, right? They lacking virtues. Usually, they're usually negative. They're probably destructive. They have very unpleasant traits. They're argumentative and they're easily bothered. Now, these are men that thinks, oh, you know what? As long as I'm upfront, I'm macho about things. They're emotionally unstable. They don't know how to control their emotions. Will easily get bothered. And these are not masculine men. These are weak, pathetic men out there. Damn, what the hell? You know what I'm saying, Lucky. Hello, Allie. All right, so now for my first slide, I have 4 slides today. So if you guys are interested and you want to say, I have 4 slides. My first slide is sex is always the man's fault. Sex is always the man's fault. You're probably wondering why. Why, Mitchell, why is it my fault? Why is it the man's fault? Well, men, number one, you need to stand up. Where do you gain this knowledge from? I have a good coach. His name is Coach Corey Wayne. So highly suggest looking him up on YouTube. I didn't just learn this on my own. I spent years. I'm curious where I can learn myself. You could learn here. You could learn from Coach Corey Wayne. And you could learn from books. So I would highly suggest you take a look at that. Write it down right now. Take a look. Lucky, if you're serious about this, or if anyone's serious about this, I would highly suggest getting a notepad right now and write it down. If you need me to repeat some, I'll be more than happy to repeat some. All right. What are you teaching, brother? I'm teaching relationships, but I teach relationships in a way where it's kind of leaning towards more attraction rather than, oh, this is how you should treat somebody. You know what I mean? This is how attraction works. They also did a study about that too, and there's really none out there for that. At least not now. Anyway, moving on. Sex is always a man's fault, okay? Now, you have to as a guy, you have to stand up for what you want and not agree to anything that you would not agree with. So, an example is, let's just talk about any type of negotiating. Okay, let's just say you have $20,000 in the bank. You got nothing more than that. You walk into this dealership and you say, I need a car. My budget's $20,000. Hey, yo, this is what I got. And there's like, the dealer's like, cool, no problem. Hey, I have this nice car, but it's 25. You're like, wait, but I'm telling you my budget is 20. And they're showing you something 25. That doesn't make any sense. Now, the reason why I want to use that example is because most women, they will do this shit to you and you think it's all right. And most men, they're very good at what they do professionally. But when they come back home behind closed doors, they fucking collapse. They could be millionaires, and I've seen this shit happen. They just fucking collapse. And then guess what happened? They don't really do anything about it. They end up getting divorced, and they blame it on the woman and this and that. And then they're like, you know what? I'll just use money to buy, X, Y, and Z. So it's like, it is what it is, right? It's like, no, you're just in this vicious cycle, and you think money's gonna save you. It's like money's only amplifying who you are. And just like how being in a relationship only amplifies who you are, just realize that unless you fix who you are, you will never attract the right people into your life, at least for the people that you want into your life, right? So now, 20,000, they'd be like, no, 25, right? It's like, no. So women will do the same thing, right? Now, if you signed up for sex and romance in a relationship, you're like, hey, you know what? I signed up for sex and romance. This is what I want. But she's like, nah, you know what? I kind of want to just be friends. I see you as a friend right now. Or she makes up a whole bunch of excuses like, you know, I'm religious now. You know, I want to I want to go back into my religion, and but she was giving it up to you for like years. Maybe y'all been together for a hot minute, and then now she's like, you know what? I want to get back into my religion, and I want. That's logically, it makes a lot of sense, and the most guys would be like, yeah, she's just, you know, she's just getting back into her religion and she wants to be more connected. Realistic, that's womanese telling you that she lost interest in you, and not because women won't just stop having sex with you just because. Now, unless it started like that and she's like, you know, there's no sex till marriage, that's totally different. That's just their values. That's different, right? That's their culture. That's different. But if she was already doing all that with you, and then now she's taking it away, she lost attraction. She lost attraction. No sex before marriage is fine, though. Yeah, absolutely. No, and you know, I don't tell people how to live their lives, but what I do know is that when something was a certain way, and then now they're unilaterally taking that away from you, it means a loss of attraction. What should I do when girlfriend gives a silent treatment and stops having sex? Well, my question to you is, why she, like, first of all, me personally, I don't deal with women that give silent treatments. How to regain attraction. Yeah, this is actually how I'm gonna talk about that in a second, but making a lot of sense. Thank Randy, I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. What should I do when a girlfriend? Yeah, so number one, silent treatments. I don't deal with that because silent treatments to me is like, it's petty. It's petty, and that tells me that you lack communication and that you don't know how to control yourself. And so by telling me not, or by her giving me a silent treatment, it's like her saying, I'm gonna punish Mitchell till I feel like he's got enough, and then I will talk to him. Me, I value communication. Communication is number one. It's on the top of my list. If you can't communicate with me, because relationships are hard enough as it is, you're not going to be my girl. Bottom line, I will lay that out. I'll tell you now, right? If you do that shit again, I'm gonna let you know that I personally will walk away. And the reason why is because it's mentally and emotionally abusive. It's mentally and emotionally abusive. That's not something I signed up for. So you have to, as a guy, you have to be congruent with that. And I'll talk about that later. But then, you know, say, you know, you signed up for sex and romance, and now all of a sudden she's like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have sex because of religion, because I'm tired, maybe because there's kids now. Like, that's bullshit to me. A woman that is attracted to you, that she will want you all the fucking time. All the time. And there's two biggest reasons why a woman will leave you. There's two biggest reasons why. Number one is you stop dating and courting her. And I'll give you the second one in a bit. All right. So if you sign up for sex and romance, but she unilaterally says, I just want to be friends. And then you think, hey, you know what? I don't want to lose her. So I'm just going to agree to being friends just so that she's still physically with me. Absolutely not. Because she is going to not respect you. And where respect goes, love follows. You have to understand that. Where respect goes, love follows. So if this is you, and this is respect, and she respects you, love follows respect. And as a guy, and as the man, the masculine man, you're the leader of the relationship. And when I say leader, I'm not talking about controlling. I'm talking about being able to lead. It means to be able to go first. Lead means to be able to go first, which means that you have your priorities straight. You have things you want to do in your life. You're also saying that I love you and I care about you and you are important to me. So I will listen to you. I will make sure you're heard and understood. That's the second one, right? I will make sure she's heard and understood. And then all the while still doing everything you can do to penetrate the world, because masculinity is overcoming challenges and breaking through barriers. Okay, it's penetrating. If you think about it, who's really penetrating who, right? JC, I always get silent treatment from my boyfriend. Yeah, that's not good. And that's just tells me he's not emotionally regulated. And when you get that, it's like, that's not love. And when he does that, it sounds like it's more about him than it is about the relationship. And that is the beginning of the end of the relationship. When they stop, when they feel like, hey, you know what? I'm not getting what I want, so I'm gonna punish you for this. It's like, why? He won't tell me what is wrong until I notice something isn't right. Now, I understand that people do get emotional. I get emotional too, but there are times where I'm like, I can't talk to you right now. I am mad. I am upset at you. I am disappointed about the situation, and things are not going well. So I need time. Watch out for covert. Leah, you deserve more subs and views. This stuff is actually stuff that people need to know. Thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. Thank you. I think, honestly, I honestly think it's me not doing enough long form content. I'm using my phone. Yeah, I'm using my phone. So I appreciate you, Leah. Thank you. I would appreciate if you guys do sub to me on this channel, because I'm going to be pushing out more and more. And eventually I will start doing more. What's up, Karina? Eventually I'll start doing more one-on-ones too as well. Okay. Communication is key. It's prolonged for a certain period of time. It's definitely a him problem. Absolutely. Thank you, anti-hero. All right, so moving on. Okay. So if she says, I want to be friends, but you want sex and romance, you have to let her know that this is not what I want. You want that? That's not what I want. I signed up for a romantic relationship, for romance, for sex and romance. And you want to be friends. You want to be platonic friends. I don't want to be your roommate. I don't want to live with you and just be your roommate. I'm not gonna sign up for that. And so, and a king never leaves his kingdom. Meaning that if this is your house, you'd be like, well, that's what you want. I understand. I love you. I care about you, but that's not what you want. I'm gonna give you about a month so that you can find a place or something like that, right? You're not gonna get up your own kingdom and leave. You're gonna give her time. Why? Because you're a kind person, and it pays well to be kind, but it also, you don't take shit from people. You have to understand this. If you have a pen and paper right now, you want to write this down. You don't want to take shit from other people, but you also don't want to lose your shit neither. Okay? There's a big difference, because a lot of people, they think masculinity, being a macho man, right? They think they don't take shit from people. Absolutely. That's half of the pie, right? What's the other half? You don't lose your shit neither. A lot of people lose their shit, and that is how the world would judge you, based off your lack of emotional regulation. Okay, so now you tell her that's not what I want, that's not what I signed up for, and you walk away and you mean it. Okay, this is how a woman feel. She needs to feel you. Right here. She needs to feel your strength mentally, emotionally. Why? Because you're cool, you're calm, and you're collected. You're unfazed by her decision, and you're saying that you're willing to walk away from it forever. Hey, just got her. What's up, Elliot? Don't lose your cool and go to prison. Absolutely not, right? No, you still want your freedom. Okay, now, she might not like it, but she will always respect you for that. She will always respect you for that. A woman that might not like what you ever see a woman. Okay, interesting enough. I went on some random TikTok live, and some chick was talking about how she was talking to this dude and blah 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 blah, and how he wanted a relationship with her. And she was talking like, "Oh, I'm not ready," I'm like, first of all, that's wrong already. A man never asks for a relationship. Why? Because you have 3 H's. This is what my coach taught me, okay? Now I'm teaching you guys. 3 H's. Coach Corey Wayne. You want to hang out, you want to have fun, you're going to hook up. Now, if you're religious, the hookup part might come during marriage, okay? But you want to hang out and have fun, because love is playful and fun. Everybody gets to have a good time. You're having a good time, I'm having a good time. Here's a couple of drinks. Oh, you don't drink alcohol? It's all good. We could drink tea and coffee or whatever, right? We could drink ice water together. I don't matter. I just like your company, right? And hang out, have fun, and hook up. Those are the 3 H's. As a guy, that's masculine energy. You're not looking for relationship. Feminine energy, on the other hand, which is on her side, feminine energy is about opening up to receive love. It's about bonding. It's about connecting. It's about creativity. If you think about creativity, you look at, what do women create? What do they incubate for 9 months in their belly? Right? That's creativity. That's feminine energy. So bonding, connecting. And feminine energy is chaotic. They're fucking crazy. Y'all, ladies, y'all know you're fucking crazy. And you know that, and you're okay with that. And sometimes we can't stand you, but we still love you. And so with that being said, we still want you to be in our lives, even though you're kind of crazy sometimes. But a part of that masculine energy is to tone down that chaotic energy and just, it's like whatever is big to her is like, baby, it's okay. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. It's as simple as that. I'm cool calling it. I'm just being me, but people call it nonchalant. People, you know what? People will always try to drag you down to that level so that they could label you as something. And if they could label you as something, like if, say for example, I don't know you, Elliot, but if I call you nonchalant and you agree with that, you're giving in to me so that I could feel myself and be like, damn, I just labeled this person and I pulled you down to my level. Most people don't go past a certain level. And that's just because they don't raise their standards for themselves. So if you want to have a good life, you have to raise your standards. And that's something that Tony Robbins has always said. You always want to raise your standards. What is it? Look at your body. Look at your body right now. If you're not happy with the body that you got, raise your standards. If you're not happy with the bank account that you have, raise your standards. How can you earn more? How can you, yes, savings is a big part of that too, but how can you earn more? Things like that, right? Whatever it is. If the love life is not exactly where you want it to be, well, invest into learning about the other side. Men who understand women are loved by women, okay? So if you understand more about women, they're gonna love you. I could guarantee it, okay? They're gonna love you. First-hand experience. All right, so this is how a woman feels your strength, mentally, emotionally, because you're cool, calm, and collected, okay? She might not like it, but she will always respect you for it. Now, on the flip side of the coin, if she says, on the flip side of the coin is, if you say, let me know if you change your mind, but I'm not signing up for a platonic friendship because you want platonic friendship and I want sex and romance, and then say, for example, excuse me, about 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 hours, whatever it is, you send her a text or you send her an email and you call her and you be like, hey, have you changed your mind yet? That is weak behavior. That is weak behavior because you're seeking her validation. Seeing where you stand with her as a guy is weak. Seeing where you stand with her is weak. That is feminine energy. And when you have feminine energy and they collide, they repel each other. They repulse. There's no sexual polarity. There's no sexual polarity. And so, that being said, if you're the guy and you're the masculine guy, I appreciate you. Thank you. If you're the masculine guy in that relationship, then you should act according to what is your natural essence, what is natural to you. If you act weak, if you act like a bitch, she will treat you like a bitch. Don't act like a bitch. You must walk away forever and never look back, okay? There's principles. Coach has 7 principles on how to get your ex back. There's principles, okay? But right now, I'm talking about more so in a relationship aspect. Okay, now, number 2. If she's attracted to you, she's going to want you. If she is attracted to you, she's going to want you. If you ever left scratching your head thinking like, hey, you know what? How come one moment she couldn't stop being all over me, but now she doesn't even want to be in the same room as me? Now, you want to ask yourself, well, first of all, because there could be a lot going on. Maybe mentally she's drained and you're not opening her up. You need to open her up. Okay, remember, there's two biggest reason whys that a relationship will break up. Number one was you stop dating and courting her. Number two is wait. You stop hold on. You stop dating and courting her, and she stops feeling heard and understood from you. She stopped feeling heard and understood, meaning that you never really got to sit down and really understood her. Like, what's going on, baby? What is on your mind? So the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of the questions that you consistently ask yourself and to other people. So if you ask quality questions, that get you're pulling out from her, what's going on? Baby, what's bothering you? What is on your mind? Don't leave anything out. What else? These are good quality questions that you can ask, so that, and then when she's repeating it, you could say something like, well, it sounds like, or feels like, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like what you're telling me is when this happened, this is how it made you feel. Is it right? Because you're trying to understand her. And by trying to understand her, she's going to be like, wow, this guy is really understanding me. Like, this is kind of nice. Now, that being said, if you ever left scratching like, how come she's hot for me? And then she's cold, she's hot and cold. Why is that, right? Then you have to ask yourself, what went wrong? What went wrong? And you have to follow the trail, okay? So now you got to ask yourself quality questions again. What's going on? Or what's going wrong? What's happening, right? And when did it start going wrong? When did it happen? And you got to start asking yourself these questions. Could it be because I did this? And could it be because I did that? And a lot of people, this is where I struggled most too, because when I didn't know what I was doing, and then I started reading books and I started listening to my coach, and things like light bulbs just went, holy shit, they just started popping. I'm like, I did that. I was like, God damn it. And this is just how relationship works. This is how relationship works, right? And I basically gave up all my power at one point. I gave her my power, and I gave her the ability to disrespect me because I thought it was okay. You know, it's all fun and games. It's like, nah. It's like, respect is to be earned. And if I gave that away so easily, and where respect goes, love follows. If this is me and disrespect, and she respects me, love is part of that. But if it's not, she leaves. Where respect goes, love follows. So she no longer respects me. She no longer loves me. A woman cannot love a man she does not respect. Alive with some substance and direction. Yeah. Is it Red Scorpion? Thank you. Okay, now, so you have to ask yourself what went wrong, okay? When did it go wrong? Did I make her feel heard? Did I make her feel understood? Did I continue to date her? Did I continue to court her? And now, this is where I want to, hit the brakes a little bit. Because, okay, maybe you made her feel heard and understood, but she doesn't feel wanted. She doesn't feel pretty, right? So, have you ever dated her? Have you ever told her she's beautiful? Maybe she feels like shit. Have you ever dated and courted her? Now, you want to date your woman at least once a week, or at the minimum 3 times in a month, because it's 4 months. 4 weeks in a month. So, you want to date her. You want to court her, okay? You want to and then when you're with her, you want to be with her. You want to have a good time. You want to tease her a little bit. You want to kind of mess with her a little bit, right? Because why? Love is playful and fun, and it's never too heavy, and it's never too serious, okay? And that's what you want to do. And when she's out with you and she's having a good time with you, she's going to be like, damn, I'm having a great time with you right now. And she's going to go home and be like, damn, why wouldn't I want to have sex with this man that just took me out and just made me feel pretty again, and he understands me. So when a woman feels heard and understood, legs open. When she doesn't, the legs close. So where do you have to go first? Most men start from the physical aspect. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna touch her and make her feel like she's, get her excited and her legs open. What you should really focus on is how you're gonna open her up mentally. This is to me, the C word down there. It's not the biggest sexual, that sex organ thing. It's right up here. If you open her up here, everything else opens up. Something I learned in the army that applies to almost everything. Attention to details. Absolutely. Now, when women don't want the power in the relationship, okay? So, did you ever stop being a masculine figure in the relationship and gave her all the power? At one point, I did that. I made that mistake, and it's okay. Things happen. I learned from it. I don't beat myself up. Shit happens. It did suck. I was hurt. But what was that quote again? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. And the cycle continues, right? So women don't want the power in the relationship. Women do not want the power in the relationship. Let's see. One sec. Just scrolling back down. Okay. She wants a man to be able to lead the relationship, meaning that he is the leader. Do not misconstrue what I'm saying with being controlling and manipulating and a tyrant. That is not what I am preaching. Being a leader means I will go first, and you could come and follow me if you like. No cap, feels better that someone else has been through that because I've done the same thing. It's what she wanted. Absolutely. And, experience is the greatest teacher. Misery is one of the greatest teachers because you're miserable. Just don't let that be your last. So my question to a lot of people is, you have two choices. After misery happens, you have two choices. You could either become bitter about it, which most weak men do, or you could become better at it. You could be bitter or you could be better. Which one would you like to choose? Now, most people live life of quiet desperation. That's just a fact. They're going to live life of quiet desperation. And more people will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. So what does that mean? It means that when they are saying, damn, I'm already in pain, I'm miserable, but to tell me that I need to work on myself, that's way more pain. So I'm going to avoid the pain so that I don't gain the pleasure. So what does that also tell you? That success is never really crowded along the extra mile. If you just consistently worked and believed in the process, that eventually you will become successful by constantly applying the things that you have learned. And it's going to go up and down, but the trend is it's going to slowly go up. That eventually you're going to be in a much better place. So if you, like I said, look at yourself physically. If you're not exactly where you want physically, well, what do you have to do? Imagine you just took 2 months of just eating better, drinking water, sleeping well, working out properly with good forms, technique, and things like that. You hire a personal trainer. I'm also a personal trainer. Shameless plug. And so you did all these things, and then you applied it for about 2 months, and you did it consistently, and you locked out, and you stopped hanging out with your friends that eats and drinks all the weekends, those Friday nights, and you just closed up. You'd be like, hey, I love you guys, but I got to do something for myself. Why? Because I need to be better, and I need to do that for myself. Hope you guys could understand that. I love you guys. I'll be back. Give me 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. And you do it and you lock in, and it requires discipline. Well, guess what? You're going to come out a much better quality person. And now on top of that, not just physically better, but mentally stronger, and you're emotionally regulated, guess what? You're fucking unstoppable now. Because most guys don't do that. They just end up on a Friday night. Like tomorrow, example, you're going to see a lot of people partying, but you're at the gym and you're doing it. But you're not only just doing it on that Friday where everyone's out, you're doing it consistently through Monday through Friday, right? Even if she isn't a 10, if you make her feel like one and show her that you have your shit together, she will lift you up. Absolutely. Behind every great man is a very supportive woman. Okay, people need to listen to understand instead of listening to respond. Yes. What does it mean? What does it mean when that same female continues to stalk your social media and tries to pay attention to what you do? She might be curious. She might also be bored and say, for example, if you could see that she's watching your social media, maybe she's either liking it or she's watching one of your stories and you see her as a viewer. That doesn't really mean anything. It means that she hasn't really blocked you, which also means that, and I'm assuming that's an ex. She hasn't blocked you, so there's still a line of communication. And if there's a line of communication, it means that you're not completely blocked out. It means that there's still something open. Now, she blocked you on phone number, social media, like emails, everything, then just walk away. Just respect yourself enough to walk away from that. That's what I would highly recommend. And for sure. All right, now, let's see if she's... Okay, where did I lead myself to? Luckily, I wrote things down. So now, this is where true femininity lies, right? And when femininity feels safe around a true masculine essence, she will feel attraction. Her interest will go up, and sex is always on the table. Now, when a woman's in love with you, she's gonna want your attention all the fucking time. All the time. Most men complain about they don't have enough sex. If you do it properly, first-hand experience, if you do it properly, she's gonna want sex more than you could even give. All right? And that's a much better thing to have than to be laying in bed with your woman and she's like, I'm too tired. Because I've been there too. Now it's a little different. It's a little bit different, right? She might have been burned a few times and she is in turtle mode. What do you mean by that? Elliot, you watching her watching you, you still have feelings for her, and she's trying to find out if you're doing, which means you haven't let go either. You gotta let it go. Adults don't play those games. And when it comes to emotions and feelings, it's hard to determine. But if you love and value yourself enough, and you're able to walk away from that, and respect yourself enough, basically grow a set of balls and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go this way, but I'm not gonna be bitter about it. I still want you to be the best. Why? Because I'm going to be in a different direction, and I hope I could see you there with me one day. But if not, that's okay. Absolutely. Hey, because if you truly love somebody and she's your ex, you still want them to be happy. And that was something that was very difficult for me to get past at one point in my life. Now it's a little bit different. If we're no longer together, I still want you to be the best. Why? Because just because you're not happy with me doesn't mean that you should not be happy, despite what you have done. Your character traits, I can't change that. So my goal as a person is to attract the right person into my life. I'm not really going out there and be like, damn, who am I gonna go with? I attract the right people into my life, and then I vet properly by, number one, giving myself enough time to see. And you know what? It doesn't mean that I can't make mistakes, but I vet properly. I'm gonna see, does this person respect her dad? Why? Because if she respects her dad, well, guess what? Chances are she's gonna have a better chance at respecting men out there. Because just think about it for a second. If you grew up in a household where you're a little girl, okay, this little girl, and she sees mommy and daddy fighting all the time. Mommy does not respect dad. Dad's like, oh, whatever. So he's the moneymaker, and mommy just makes food and blah 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 blah, and he just comes home and be like, where's dinner? Instead of being like, hey baby, how's your day been? Things like that. And they just argue all the time, and she sees that constantly. And then when she grows up, she's gonna be like, well, mommy never respect daddy, so why the hell should I ever respect the guy? Why? And then you see all these OF people, and then you see all these group of people, these what I would call red pill community. Well, they call themselves that, and I feel like they're slowly at a decline. Because these red pill will only blame other women. Oh, modern women this and modern women that, and all women are like this. It's like, no, you just gathered a whole bunch of shitty people and you put them in one little clusterfuck. And then you just point out all these things. It's like there are good women out there. You just haven't vetted properly. And instead of just finding the right person, you're just gonna blame all women are like this. And of course you're gonna have this story that you're gonna tell yourself. Red cringe, yeah. That's what she said. This is way too close to home. Which part? Which part? But it's, to me, I'm like, that's pathetic. It's like you're not really finding a solution. You're not really finding a solution. I'm trying to understand the other side so that the other side would love me too and I love them. Why hate each other? But we still want each other. It's like this red pill community is like talking shit about women, but yet they still want them. It's like, well, where's the part where you're working on a better solution, man? Where are you working on becoming a masculine man and breaking through barriers by understanding the other side? I'm not telling you, hey, look, if she does OF and she does all these and she sells whatever to make some money and you agree with that, then you already kind of know what you're signing up for. Like, that's on you. But there are good people out there. You got right, LA goes so fast. One of the best lives to this day. Oh, thank you, Chris. I think also it's because it's a lot later and I had rest. Anyways, I don't know what that thing was. Red cringe. All right, so anyways, a woman want a man to lead. That is where true femininity lies, okay? Sex is the byproduct of being a masculine figure in her life. So remember, women don't dump men they're head over heels in love with. They don't. That's just something that does not happen. If you're in love with somebody, would you ever dump them? It's like, imagine your favorite, I don't know, Pokemon card or something like that. Your favorite Pokemon card. Oh my God, I love it so much. I'm going to give it away. You probably won't even be like, you know what? I'm not going to let it go unless I'm going to get X times the amount, right? Like, that's like, I would sell it for 3 times of what it's worth. And if someone's willing to give me that, then fine. And even then, if they offer me that, I'm going to be like, why are you giving me 3 times more? Something's fishy, right? But anyways, women only dump men she lost interest and attraction for. That's the only thing, okay? So, are you acting in ways that is attractive to her? Are you acting attractive? And if you don't know how to act attractive, well, there's plenty of other ways to learn, right? Whether it's not just physical. A lot of people got the physical part down, but they got nothing in here. They suck. So after this front, it's like you're a car, you look clean, but you can't fucking run for shit, right? The moment you turn on, like, all black smoke, right? So it is only, women will only care about how you make her feel. And you just have to understand that when feelings come and go, okay? And I'm gonna give you another secret. Women, when they tell you they love you, it only means they love you at that moment. It means it's live, okay? It doesn't carry on. It's not carryovers. It doesn't roll over, okay? There's no interest to that. It's just, I love you. It means that today, at this very moment. If you be like, well, she did tell me she loved me 2 weeks ago, so why is she acting like X, Y, and Z right now? Like, you're already in the wrong place. So that's why it is so important to understand this concept. And what I teach is, I don't teach tips and tricks. I teach a philosophy of respecting yourself, of loving yourself, of building yourself up mentally, emotionally, physically. That is how you work on yourself. And if you see these videos on social media where they talk about how, there's this, they always give an interview to a woman and they'd be like, oh, how much does he have to make? And of course, if you're going to ask a woman how much a guy has to make, she's going to give you a number. And then once she gives you an obnoxious number, you're going to be like, oh my God, she sucks. She's a red flag. Well, I'm not that tall, guys. I'm not that tall, okay? Women, they always say they want a 6 foot or at least 5'8" and above. Motherfucker, I'm 5'5", 5'6" on a good day. 5'5", 5'6" on a good day. Well, guess what? Plenty of them that be like, you know what? I've never dated someone this hype before. I'm like, hey, shit, first time for everything, right? And I don't keep it serious. I'm like, hey, love is playful and fun. So it's like, my mentality is, why wouldn't you want me if I was single, right? Like, why wouldn't you want me? You're here to have a good time, right? Let's have a good time. So I wasn't taking, had to go for a bit. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. Make her feel like a queen, but conduct yourself like an honorable king. Yep. Absolutely. 5'6". Yeah, I'm 5'6" on a good day. You know, sometimes gravity takes a toll. My neck's not feeling, too well. The hair product kind of goes down a little bit. Things don't go well. It's okay. So, anyways, women don't dump men they're head over heels in love with. They only dump men they lost interest and attraction for. So, are you acting in ways that is attractive to her? It is only about how she feels about you. So, are your actions showing that you're the leader in the relationship? Are you the leader in the relationship? Damn, I got 2 more slides. Okay, I could do this. Usually my lives are about an hour. All right. So you got to be congruent with your words. So the next thing is, this is something that I had to learn the hard way. And this is where I realized that once I started becoming more congruent with my words and I aligned myself with my values, and based on those values, that's how I kind of navigate through life. I started taking less shit from other people. So an example was, I'm gonna tell you, so my mom, actually, she called me out one day. She was like, Mitchell, you're always talking about congruency, right? She didn't say exactly like that, but that's what she meant. She was like, you always talk about, what you say and what you mean, and, how your words are binding and all this. How come when you tell me you're going to come home at 12 o'clock, you come home at 1:30, and I'm sitting there for an hour and a half waiting for you, and you're all talking about this? And I was like, fuck, you're right. I was a little hurt. I was like, you're right, Mom. I fucked up. And ever since that day, I was like, 12 o'clock. Hey, mate, if I'm late, I'm going to be like, hey, Mom, I'm going to be a few minutes late, but I'm coming. She'd be like, all right. And that is being congruent with your words. Even if it's just your mom or just your friends or whatever it is, you got to be congruent with that. Say what you mean what you say, because your words are binding. And as a man, that is all you got. If she cannot trust you based off your words, and she can't trust your actions, what makes you think she's going to respect you? But then, if you consistently, time after time, when you say something and it delivers every single time, and you take accountability and you take responsibility too, and you do it time after time, next thing you know, when you say something, she's gonna be like, okay, he means it. He means this. So you got to be congruent with your words. This means your thoughts and your actions must align. The mindset to have is to perceive yourself as a catch, right? And act accordingly to those thoughts. Because thoughts creates emotions, emotions create feelings, and feelings is what drives behaviors. And so if your thoughts and your behaviors are all aligned, people could take you seriously. They'd be like, damn, this person, I can't fuck with this person. This person's like a rock. Means what he says. If he'd be like, don't fuck with me, it means don't fuck with him. But if he's out having a good time, he's out having a good time. So now you got to be congruent. So if you're going to take care of yourself, whether it's your outer appearance, how you speak, how you treat other people, how you act, the type of clothes you wear, every single thing kind of adds up. But ultimately, the most important thing, I could be in rags talking to people and it'd still be all right. Most people would judge me if I'm wearing rags. But if I'm wearing rags and I'm having a good time talking to people, they won't care. They won't care, because it's like, damn, I'm having a good time with this person. Now, also, like I said, with the whole sex and romance thing, ball's in her court. You pass the ball to her, right? I want sex and romance. She wants unilateral. I want friendship. So you know what? That's not what I want. Pass the ball. It's on her court. But you have to let her know now. You have to let her know. That's not what I signed up for. This is what I want. What I want is sex and romance. That's not what I want. I understand. So I hope I hope you find somebody that makes you happy or something like that, whatever it is, right? And I really mean it. I really do. It hurts. It hurts that you're gone, but you know, I love you, but this is not what I want. So I have to walk away from this as a man, basically. Now that the ball's in her court, and you tell her, let me know. Oh, call me when you change your mind. Call me or let me know when you change your mind. That way she knows that if she ever contacts you, it means she knows exactly why she's contacting you. Because she missed you. She missed your hugs. She missed your kisses, your cuddles, the way you touch her, whatever, right? And she might just hide it. You know, girls that would never want to admit to it. She don't want to feel like she's desperate or none. So she might hide it and like, oh, I just missed you. Yeah, she missed more than that. You know what I mean? So when you're judging her by her level of her interest, okay, you have to judge her by her level of interest and see if she's low, if she has a low level of interest towards you, and you're, let's just say you're dating right now, you just asked her out, you want to see what her level of interest is. You basically vetting her. You're just like, do I really want someone that doesn't really want me in my life? Because have y'all ever been on a date and it didn't really go too well, and then when you know you finish the date, maybe y'all kissed or maybe you haven't, I don't know, and then she doesn't really text you, she doesn't contact you, she doesn't do anything to really kind of reach out to you, and you kind of just, and I'm pretty sure you guys heard like, oh yeah, let her contact you because men shouldn't chase. And absolutely, to a certain degree, I understand that, and that's why you should stick to a once a week rule if you're on this date and you're dating and courting her. Because if you do everything properly within about 2 months, 6 to 8 weeks, she will fall in love with you. Women fall in love and they take a long time. Men, we could look at a girl and she'd be like, dude, she don't even need to fucking speak English, and you'd be like, damn, I love her. She can have a lisp and you'd be like, shit, I love her too, right? You don't give a shit. It doesn't matter, right? You just love her. Why? Because we fall in love with our eyes. We're like, we can make babies, like we can have a family right now. Like, what are we waiting for at the Starbucks? We should go somewhere, right? Men fall in love instantly. Women, they take their time. So men and women, you have to understand those, okay? You have to understand women. My wife chased me like I'm not good. And after, so in the pursuit of it, men pursues women. He doesn't chase, he pursues her. And then after that, she does 70 to 80% of the pursuing. So if you're in a relationship right now, she should be pursuing you 70 to 80%. And if you could get away with 90 to 100%, let that happen. Why? Because that's part of feminine energy anyways. If she's in love with you and you take care of her and you listen to her, when she wants your attention, you be like, hey baby, what's going on? Now, if you're busy, you be like, I can't talk to you right now. I'll call you back after this. Then you let her know, communication being on my number one list. Hey, I can't talk to you right now. I'm a little bit busy. I know I miss you too, but I have some things I need to do, which is your purpose. This is my purpose. And so guess what? She might not like it, but distance make the heart grow fonder. That being said, it's like, damn, like Mitchell's on his purpose. He's doing his thing and he still gives me time and affection. It's like, that's where love, and she needs time and space to think about you, to wonder about you, to be like, oh, I wonder what he's thinking. How come now? And you want someone that's easygoing and easy to get along with, not someone that's like, oh my God, he's doing something. He's probably cheating. It's like, is that easygoing? Is that easy to get along with? No, it's not. It's like, that's not what I signed up for. And if this is not what I signed up for, then bye. It's okay, you know? So women know what they want and they go after it. Yeah, I think women fall in love faster than men do. Is that? No, they don't. And if she does, then it's kind of like, okay, what's really going on? So I was the one who chased my boyfriend now. He wouldn't even have contacted me if I didn't reach out to him. Yeah. But then there's still certain things that, based off what you have told me, Tracy, based off what some of the things that you have told me will already, like, to me, that's something that needs to be worked on his end. Okay. So anyways, you always want to kind of judge your level of interest And because you want someone that's willing to jump fences for you, not stay on the fence and be like, you want to be like, yeah, let's do it together. Yeah, why wouldn't you want that? That's the best feeling. That is the best feeling. Not someone that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't kiss on a first date. Whatever. Okay. Be careful with structured women, because there are other people out there that would listen to this advice and do the opposite of that and say, so for example, if another woman, a woman relationship coach that's teaching the opposite of what I'm saying, like, oh, don't kiss him on the first date, make him wait a little bit more. That's not really feminine energy. That's being structured, and that's kind of like having her act more like the man. You know what I mean? And that's like, you don't want to deal with a structured woman. That it's gonna cause a lot of things in your life that's not gonna be fun for you. I ignored it, but damn, was persistent. Best thing that ever happened to me. She caught me like a Pokemon. She used a regular ass Pokeball and got you. She was like, he ain't even hurt. You're like a Caterpie. No, I was kidding. All right. I love Pokemon, so I mean, you set yourself up for that one. So this why a man needs a sense of purpose. As a man, you need to have a purpose. You need to have a direction. You need to have a reason to wake up every morning, and you need to not only be having a reason to wake up every morning, but being grateful for why you're up. Most people don't even get the opportunity to have that. So be grateful for being able to, like, say for example, walk to the fucking gym or walk to your car. I know plenty of people that have loads of money that wish they could do simple shit like walking. They can't even walk long enough. They need to be dependent on other people. So it's like, really, what do you really have to be like upset about, right? And so being more grateful for the things that you do have, and then having a purpose. And then not only that, so if you do the things you love and you have a reason to wake up and have a good time, the energy, your demeanor, how you treat people, you're more calm, you're more centered as a guy. You're like the rock in the ocean. You're not moved, you're unbothered. And so when things do kind of get to you, it doesn't really bother you. It doesn't perturb you too much. You're not perturbed anymore. You're kind of like, it's all good. It's like, yo, but you're not gonna take shit from other people, but you're also not gonna lose your shit neither, right? So that's the importance of being, just the fundamentals of being a masculine man. And now having that sense of purpose, you have a direction. And then if you have this direction and she wants to follow along with that, because you have a sense of direction, you're also fun. Love is playful and fun. They're gonna follow you. Why wouldn't you? You're the fun person. Being around this, he's almost like the center of attention all the time. It's like you're the party person, right? So naturally, people are going to be attracted to the things that you do, whatever you like to do. So for example, people that already know me, like Tracy and Crystal, like I love dancing. Dancing's one of my things. I've always been a part of that, and I will never let that go. I love dancing. It doesn't matter who's watching, I will still continue to dance, right? And that's something that I love doing. And it's good cardio for me. It keeps me young, because last week I fell down and I'm still hurting. I'm an old man that look a little, that could kind of get away with looking a little bit younger sometimes. So, but it's the consistency, right? It's like what you do, it's what you put in your body is what you put out too as well. That being said, need to have a sense of purpose. Also, my purpose is to share informations like this to you guys, because I love to be of a service to certain people that needs what I could teach, whether it's personal training or teaching relationship. That's very important to me. And if it's important to me, I'm gonna get laser focused at it. And I've been obsessed with this ever since, I don't know, 9 years ago. And I just been obsessed. It's the first thing I think about, and it's the last thing on my mind. Like, that's the last thing in my mind that keeps me up late at night. Sometimes I'm not able to sleep because I'm asking myself too many questions. So I'm obsessed with it. And that's how you get good at things, because you're obsessed and you like it enough where you invest. And naturally, you're going to attract the right people into your life. So, got to have a purpose. And then add that, sprinkle with some social skills, being able to communicate others well. It's all good, right? Uh, let's see. Mitch is good at it. Thank you, Jackie Tracy. All right, so this is my last slide. This is my last slide, and then I have a summary. All right. So, and I appreciate you guys for staying this long because I know an hour is a long time. So I really do appreciate your time. And you know, one thing I always say is time you will never get back. So I've been at the top, all the way under the bottom. At the end of the day, the role of a real man is to be protector and provider. Yeah. It gives a purpose and meaning. It's in your DNA. Leah, thank you. Thank you. So last one is if you act unattractive, she won't respect you. Like I said, where love goes, where respect goes, love follows. No woman can ever love a man she does not respect. So if you're constantly displaying behaviors, acting unattractive, I'm not Korean, seeking validation, right? Hey, do you still love me? Right? Being needy, right? Asking questions from weakness, like, how do you feel about me? Do you still love me? And things like that, right? So, because the reason why you're asking that question isn't because you're curious about it. It's because you need to know where you stand with her. That's coming from a place of weakness. Now, if you're really curious, it's like, yeah, I mean, how do you feel about this relationship? Like, what's going on? What's on your mind? That's different because you're asking a question because you're curious because maybe some of her behaviors has been a little bit different lately, and so you're thinking maybe it's something I've done. And then so as a guy, we like to solve things. We like to find a solution for it. And so if I'm doing something that's causing you to step away or to act a different way, then absolutely, then it's good. There's no way that can be rectified. What to do when you lost all your cards? Like to her, where she loses respect from you and she no longer loves you. She kind of disrespectful. She's saying a lot of things like that. And as you're typing that, I'm gonna continue with this, which is yeah. So you're giving up all your power away, right? If you act like a bitch, she would treat you like a bitch. Okay, yes, kind of, right? The greatest negotiating position is to walk away and mean it. That's the greatest. Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. Yeah, Stoicism. I practice some of that too. But you know, you have to understand a lot of the things that I teach is not like super set in stone. It's a philosophy. It's kind of like an art too. But there are certain rules and certain things that that needs to be followed. But you can play around with it. It's kind of like dancing. Dancing, you know, you could get 5 dancers on the dance floor and you could watch them. They could all do the same moves, but they all kind of do it differently. Same thing as a singer, things like that, right? It's an art. This is kind of like an art, and it's not to be like Mitchell said this once a week. Like it's not like that. It's not super like, hey, can you talk about the relationship between siblings and how to improve it? The same thing goes. It's communication. You have to understand that with siblings or family or blood, whatever it is, they're still people at the end of the day. And if they are not right for you and they're emotionally draining, there's one quote that I really stand on, which is by Jim Rohn. He talked about every day stand guard at the door of your mind, because whatever you put in is what you pour out. So if you're feeding yourself in the morning with like a bunch of bullshit, social media that does not relate to you, things that is like maybe you doom scrolling on social media and things like that, that's all gonna pull you away from your purpose. And whatever you prolong that is meant for you, you're gonna delay it for what you really want in the future. Say, okay, let's say I did everything wrong, from disrespect to losing my respect, being needy, clinging, stalky. That's something that's really difficult to get back from. Can you talk about a relationship? Now it doesn't mean that's impossible, but my question to you is the juice really worth the squeeze at this point? The best proposition for me now is to walk away. It is, but if you think now, I can understand where you're coming from, Hero, because there were some times where I'm like, okay, if I walk away, let's just say, okay, if you went on any random, if you went onto any random YouTube video and you're like, well, I want to get my ex back and she's losing respect for me, they will give you tips and tricks. What I'm going to teach you is, it's not tips and tricks. These are things that is a philosophy that you should abide by, because hopefully this is something that you value and that means a lot to you. And the reason is because now, if you looked up online and you're like, hey, you know what, this person doesn't respect me, blah, blah, yeah, you got to say certain things. You got to put your foot down. You don't have to be an asshole about it. You'd be like, say, for example, if I have a woman that's disrespecting me right now, my woman disrespecting me, it's like, blank, babe, what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're behaving, it's not very loving. And the way you're talking to me is very disrespectful. I'm not going to tolerate that. And if you continue to talk to me that way, I'm going to walk away. I'm not giving an ultimatum. All I ask for is respect, because I'm assuming that you're giving that respect to her too, right? Those tricks, horoscope doesn't work. No, it doesn't. So, and then you just say, for example, you apply the quote unquote no contact. The purpose of a no contact rule, and I'm pretty sure you heard of that. If you haven't, go check that out. The purpose of a no contact rule is to walk away so that you can elicit a response, which is by gathering up emotions, right? Building up certain emotions. There's a psychology phenomenon, basically. It's called the fading effect bias, and you could write this down too. Go look it up on Google. So a fading effect bias is basically when the emotions that you have once with someone, because they're no longer there, you start to focus on the positive things of the relationship rather than the negative things. So the positive starts to go up a little bit higher and higher and higher. And when that goes higher, it feels like it's amplified. So what does it mean? It means like, damn, you ever notice if you haven't spoke to somebody for like 2 to 3 weeks and you used to talk to each other almost every single day, you start to ask yourself like, damn, like I miss this person. I miss all the good times. That's fading effect bias. And when that does happen, you get them back. But my question to you is, what have you changed? And that change means that, have you worked on yourself emotionally? Are you regulated? Have you became a better person? Because a lot of people come to me and ask me, how can I get my ex back? And I'm like, that's already the wrong concept. The better question is, how do I act in ways where I am more attractive, where I'm diving in and building my strength up so that I can attract the right people into my life. And if she does come back into my life, then great. But what can I do now that could be my most attractive self? Whether it's going to the gym, reading books, educating myself, drinking water, right? Sleeping, like things like that, keeping things simple, right? Just doing things like that. How can I become my most attractive self? That is how you're gonna attract the right people into your life. And if your ex ever decides to come back, she will. That is the best approach. Now, for most people, they're like, no, I just want my ex back, because they're so fixated on that one person. And, to each their own. I used to think that way too. But the best way to approach it is to have that different mindset. And that's where I come in as a coach to guide, because I've done a lot of mistakes. And just by understanding that, making mistakes, it stings a little bit. But, like I said, you always have a choice to be better or become better, right? And every single time I always choose the path of becoming better, because, in life, we need a lot of discipline. We need a lot of things that we do that takes a while to build up. So number one is our character, right? Being able to be congruent, saying things and mean it. So when my mom called me out that one day, guess what? I was like, you're right, Mom. Like, I shouldn't be doing that, and I'm sorry. I owned up to that. And by that means that I'm not going to do that again. And if it does happen, guess what? I'm going to own up to it. Hey, Mom, bought you some flowers, all right? fucked up. Here's some roses. Fucked up. Let's see. Ever go back to your ex? Read your book forward. Read your book forward and not backwards. Okay, so now, how to communicate with Big Brother if I don't know what to talk about with him, but I love him and need his presence in my life. No matter what happens, sometimes there are things that are just not meant to be. Sometimes, yeah. So, and anti-hero, you said true. Okay, so you want your big brother in your life. Now, I don't know the dynamic of what's happening. You want him in your life. Maybe there's a lack of communication. Maybe you guys argue. I don't know. I don't know what is going on. But the number one thing, and that's why it's on the top of my list, is communication. How well do you guys communicate? How well do you guys enjoy each other's company? Do you guys enjoy each other's company? Why do you want him in your life? Do you want him because you need him? Like, what's going on? Because, you know, me personally, I could relate to that, because there was one point in my life where I felt like if I didn't have my older brother in my life, I was like, everything will go to shit. Everything's just gonna blow up, right? Like, I don't know how to do this, I don't know how to do that, and I'm like, well, if I didn't know how to do any of this and I'm dependent on that, that's called codependency, right? And that's something that I didn't even realize, that I was like, damn, I needed this person. And because I needed this person knew that, and guess what? He calls a shot. But if I started realizing and I started learning certain things, and I'm just like, hey, if I didn't know how to fix my car, well, why don't I go to a mechanic and learn a little bit? We don't talk at all. Okay, so because if you guys don't talk, you want to communicate, you want to try to set up a time. You'd be like, hey, you know, since he's your bigger brother, I'm pretty sure there's like an ego kind of thing involved. So he's probably not going to try to talk to you. The best thing that you could do is try to talk to him and put the ball in his court. You'd be like, hey, you're my big brother. I love you and I care about you. And I want us to be in a better relation. Like to have a better relationship, because, you know, I respect you and I love you and I care about you. And that's why I'm here today and I want to talk to you. So, you know, let me know. Maybe we could go eat some, like, I don't know, figure out what's his favorite meal. Be like, let's go sit down, let's get pizza or some shit, whatever. And just you know, chop things up, talk, like, what's been going on, man? Like, me and you, maybe we could grab some drinks, we could talk a little bit, we kind of loosen up a little bit, whatever, right? Just talk. And if he's unwilling, now the ball's in his court now. If he's unwilling to talk to you because he's like, I'm still bitter and upset about you, there's not much that you can do. The only thing you can do is gently nudge that direction and be like, this is what I want. How do you feel about that? The same thing goes with a girl. It's really no different, because you're dealing with people with emotions. And when you're dealing with people with emotions, you want to be able to communicate that through here out to you, you know, with your words. And by doing so, you want to be able to learn how to communicate. So I would highly suggest like picking up a book, or, you know, there's this guy named Ask Vin, V-I-N-H. He teaches people how to speak well and enunciate certain words, especially when you're doing presentations and stuff. He does very well, and he's very good at articulating his words. So I would suggest looking him up. Relationship on one-way street, sometimes it isn't about them. You can't make someone, yep, absolutely. And a lot of it sometimes in any type of relationship is a lot of guys, say for example, a lot of guys would like to project their feelings onto a girl. Excuse me. And when he's like, yeah, I love her, I care about her, she's like saying no because she's playing hard to get. It's like, no, not really. She's not interested right now. But they're like, well, I like her, so she must like me. It's like, no, that's not true. Best thing you can do is just put the ball in their court and see if they reciprocate. And if they do, great. Then you have something to bounce back on. And if you don't, guess what? Maybe one day they will contact you. But, you know, you left the ball in their court, but there's only so much you can do. So, Scorpion, absolutely. You got it right. Hit the nail on the head. Let me finish this last slide because I still have not. So, a few more things to say is, so if you act unattractive, she won't respect you. So, if you act like a bitch, she will treat you like a bitch. This will in turn create a downward spiral of behaviors from her, such as 1, lack of intimacy, You might hear excuses like I'm too tired, I'm on my period soon, I'm not feeling well, like I have work early in the morning. It's like none of that matters. Like if a woman really cares and loves you, well, guess what? She would drop almost anything to be with you. Almost anything. So it's really, really heavy on feeling based. It's really heavy on feeling based. So you want to think of things like, well, what did you do in the beginning of the relationship, and what did you stop doing? Because in the beginning of the relationship, most people only focus on the great things, that like everything about this person is great, blah 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 blah. Everything is great, but towards the end, it's everything they dislike about a person. And why is that? Because what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. So if I already have a perception of you, let's just say you, Scorpion, because you're the last person to say something. Let's just say I don't like you because X, Y, and Z said something about you, and I have this idea, this story about you. Well, guess what? Immediately when you say hi or something, I'm gonna be kind of like held back. But if they say a lot of great things about you, well, guess what? I'm gonna be more like, what's really great about this person, right? So I got a bachelor in psychology from Maryland. Oh, nice. Yo, psychology is so fun. Maybe you could share me some books. Maybe tell me to read certain books, because I want to learn more too myself. So Mitch, I have to go now. See you on your next slide. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. You stayed for longer than an hour, so I really appreciate your time as always. Anyways, I'm almost done. So let's see. She says she was on her period. I'm too tired, not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. Sex is always the man's fault. So she starts slowly disrespecting you, becomes a little bit more bitchy, a little bit more moody, eventually leading to a breakup. Statistic goes 70 to 75% of breakups are initiated by women, or divorce initiated by women. So what does that tell you, right? It's us as guys, we're really simple men. We're like, if we like you, we stay with you. Just we're really simple men. Like if you gave me some pizza on a night out with some of my boys, and I'm playing some video games, and like if I'm just chilling there and you're like, oh, I got you some beer, like I'm gonna fucking love you. Just keep it simple, right? Like if a woman just, if I'm having a bad day and she walks up and she hugs you and she'd be like, or she comes up and she'd be like, I made you some dinner. She just gave you the food. I'm like, this is the best woman I ever had. Friendship between girls and boys, I think totally possible. Totally possible. I have a lot of friends that are men, and I have a lot of friends that are women. So, and it's, and because I have friends that are women and I'm in a relationship, it doesn't mean I want to do things with them. It just means that I have good friends. I have good friends. Okay, so eventually leading to a breakup, and if you guys do get back together, and it wouldn't really be because you're in a better place, unless you worked on yourself. More than likely, it's about her. It's because she hasn't found anyone better yet. That is why. So let that sink in a little bit. And in my channel, or the people that's watching, especially if you've been here for about, 80 minutes by now? Shit, thank you. If you're still watching this, more than likely, you're contemplating about why your life isn't where you want it to be, and you're thinking about how you're gonna better your life. With that being said, this channel isn't about having a mediocre life. It's about having an exceptional life. The woman of your dreams type of life. So this is where the channel is, and this is where I want you guys to be at, because this is gonna take a lot of time. It's gonna take a lot of dedication, but it has to be something that you truly want, a life that you truly want. And if you have an area of your life right now that you want to work on, where is it? What's the number one thing? Is it finance? Is it your emotional? Do you lose your shit a lot? Well, how can you work on that, right? More so fulfilling. Oh, thank you. So, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? So let that sink in a little bit. Anyways, that is my entire slide. Extended a little bit longer, but let's talk about the summary, right? So sex is always a man's fault. Men, you need to stand up for what you want and not agree to anything that you would not agree with. So you want sex and romance. She wants to be friends with you. No, walk away and mean it. Never look back. If she's attracted to you, she's going to want you all the time. You don't have to ask yourself. You would have to ask yourself what went wrong and follow that trail. You know what's going wrong and when did it start going wrong? Did I make her feel heard and understood? Did I continue to date and court her? Did I stop becoming the masculine figure in the relationship? Did I give her all the power? Number 3, you got to be congruent with your words. This means that your thoughts and your actions must align. So if you say one thing, if you say, hey, you only contact me if you want, only contact me if you want basically sex and romance, well, guess what? It means that you're going to walk away and never look back, because the best negotiating position is to walk away and mean it. And lastly, if you act unattractive, she won't respect you. And where respect goes, love follows. So, and no woman could ever love a man she doesn't respect. Thank you for the advice. I hope I can do it. I keep coming back. Normally, I don't do lives on a Thursday night, wherever you're from, but right now it's Thursday night at 7:53 p.m. And yeah, usually I do lives on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time. And if you guys can't attend on that, that's okay. I always upload it just like here. So, but if you guys are watching this on this live, I appreciate your time. Leah, thank you. I'll come back. Yeah. And if you guys do want to follow me, and if you guys have a social media account, Instagram, I always post my stories of my topic a day before. I try my best to, on a Friday of, and then on Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time, that is where I will do my actual YouTube live. And you can also, most of my content is dancing though, so I do want to warn you on that, because my page is all over the place for now. All right, so thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you guys are interested in watching other videos too, I don't know how many hundreds of videos I have now on this live on my YouTube, so go check that out. If you ever have any questions, feel free to DM me over at Mr. Mitchell Tang on Instagram or TikTok, whatever it is. And then, yeah, I'll get back to you. I subscribe. Glad to found you. Appreciate it, boss. Thank you for the tips. Of course. And I appreciate your time as always. And I catch you guys on the next live. All right? Peace.